Today, we are undertaking, well, a really fascinating piece of linguistic engineering, actually. We're looking at the restaurant conversation in English.
Right.
And this isn't just about, learning a few nouns for food.
No, not at all.
It's about mastering the specific, polite, and clear communication you need to successfully navigate the whole dining experience from the moment you walk in, really, right up until you pay the bill. We've analyzed conversations, sources specifically tailored for the non-native speaker, emphasizing structure over just random complexity.
And our mission today, it's really laser focused. We want to extract the core communicative strategy. Because we know for you, the learner, stepping into what feels like a high pressure service environment, well, it can cause a bit of panic, right? So we are dissecting the essential templates. Think of them as blueprints for interaction. They guarantee clarity, and they help prevent that feeling of information overload. We're focusing on how English uses subtle shifts in certain verbs, modal verbs, and specific politeness markers. Words like please, to get things done quickly and, importantly, courteously.
And here's the big picture hook, why this strategy really matters. True confidence. When you're traveling or practicing a new language, it often comes from knowing the underlying structure of these social interactions.
That's a great point.
If you understand the simple rules, the politeness rules, the way requests are formed in a restaurant, you're basically unlocking hundreds of other kinds of transactional conversations too.
Absolutely, it transfers.
The key is understanding not just what phrase to use, but when and why. Specific words like please, thank you, and those crucial verbs like can and would, why they carry so much pragmatic weight, so much meaning beyond the literal.
Exactly. These words are functional tools. They're like the linguistic grease that allows the service wheels to turn smoothly, makes everything work better.
All right, so let's simulate the scenario then. Let's dive in. You're hungry, you found a place that looks good, and you walk through the door. This is that first moment, the initial friction, you could say.
The first interaction point.
The first time you have to speak. Our sources confirm simplicity is absolutely king here. You greet the staff, could be the host, could be a waiter with a smile, ideally, and the simplest opener possible. Hello or hi.
Yeah, just straightforward.
That immediate positive engagement, it's crucial before you even say what you need.
That initial greeting is so critical because it shifts the whole interaction. It moves it from just being transactional, like a machine, to being social.
Right, person to person.
You're acknowledging the other person before you make a demand, even a simple one. But the next step, that's where the structure really becomes vital.
Ah, yes, the specific request formulation. You need to communicate two things, quickly. You want a table, and how many people need seats? Our research, it really highlights the power of the simple numeric structure. A table for number, please.
And what's fascinating here is just the sheer efficiency of that phrase. Think about it. It delivers the request, a table, and the critical quantity for 2, for 3, or, if you're dining alone, a table for 1.
All in just a few words.
In 4 or 5 simple declarative words. It completely avoids complex grammar like, we are currently a party of 3 persons, and we would require seating accommodations.
Right, nobody talks like that.
You just plug in the number. It's an established social script. Everyone knows it.
I wonder, though, for the learner, isn't it tempting sometimes to try and be more descriptive, or maybe sound more, native or fluent? Why should we really stick to the seemingly rigid formula? A table for 2, please.
That raises an excellent point, actually. The rigidity. That's its strength in this context. In a busy restaurant, a high-volume service environment, the staff are listening for keywords. They're scanning.
Okay.
If you start with a long, complex sentence, the staff member has to spend extra cognitive load, extra brain power, just processing it. But when they hear that key structure, a table for, they immediately know the function of your communication. They know what you need.
Oh, it cuts through the noise.
Exactly, which speeds up the process for everyone involved. This template is designed really for speed and clarity under pressure. And if we analyze the expected response, this pattern of efficiency just continues. The host or waiter will almost always respond with an action command and that ever-present politeness marker. This way, please, or maybe follow me, please.
Simple instructions.
It's a clear, directional cue. It confirms they understood your request and they're now fulfilling it. Move here.
And that word please is already working overtime, isn't it? It's used by the customer asking for the table, and then immediately used by the staff giving instructions.
It really does.
It acts almost like a safety mechanism, doesn't it? Ensuring the tone stays civil, keeps things moving quickly.
It creates a kind of reciprocal politeness loop. You're polite asking,
Yeah.
they're polite directing.
Okay, a loop. I like that.
Yeah, this structure, it establishes a baseline of respect right from the start, and that usually carries through the entire meal. So you've been seated, you've been acknowledged, phase one is complete,
Yeah.
and you did it successfully using very minimal yet really powerful vocabulary.
Excellent. Okay, so you follow the host, you get to your table, you sit down. Now what? Now comes a tool you need to actually plan your attack on the food, getting the menu itself.
Right. Step two.
So you're settled in, but maybe the waiter hasn't come back yet, or they seem busy, you need to initiate contact again. How do you politely request this really critical document without just, pointing or shouting menu across the room?
Definitely don't do that. This is where we introduce the critical polite request phrase template. And it's one you're going to use repeatedly, actually. It's, can I have the menu, please?
Okay, can I have the menu, please?
Ah,
Why is can I have so much better than just saying I want, or even worse, give me? I mean, beyond the obvious politeness factor, is there a linguistic advantage here?
there is, yes.
Wow.
The linguistic distinction is quite crucial. I want is a very direct, declarative statement of your internal desire.
Right.
It kind of puts the burden entirely on the server to fulfill your immediate need right now.
Okay, sounds demanding.
Whereas can I have, using the modal verb can, implies a question. It's about ability or permission. Is it possible for me to have the menu? Or maybe, are you able to provide the menu?
Yeah.
In English service interactions, this structure really softens the demand considerably.
Ah.
It transforms it from what could sound like a command into a more humble request.
Yeah.
It's just inherently more approachable, friendlier.
And that final, please.
That final please just secures the interaction, seals the deal politely. Now, once you actually have that physical menu in your hands, the learner needs a strategy for, well, reading it effectively. We don't need to spend ages defining starters, main course, dessert. You, the listener, you likely know what those are.
Right, the basics.
But what we must analyze is why the menu's standard anatomy, its structure, is actually a strategic asset for you as a language learner.
Okay, I like that pivot. Let's analyze the menu structure itself, not just the food names. Like a map.
Precisely. Think of it as a map telling us what kind of language to expect and when. Let's look at the 4 universal categories cited in our research. First up, starters. Strategically, these are usually small, kind of low-risk items, right?
Yeah.
Soup, a small salad. The language used to describe them is often pretty simple. Tomato soup, side salad. For the learner, these are excellent low-stakes practice orders. Why? Because the names are often short, easy to pronounce. It gives you a quick confidence boost right at the start.
Good point. Get an easy win early.
Exactly. Then, main course. This is the core dish, the big one. The language here can get more complex, definitely.
Yeah.
But our sources stress, especially when starting out, stick with dishes that have simple nouns. Chicken, fish, pasta, hamburger, things you recognize.
Okay.
The strategic insight here is knowing that this section, the main course section, is where the waiter will likely look for more detailed specifics, like how you want your steak cooked maybe, or what sauce you want with the pasta.
So knowing it's the main course prepares you to listen for those extra questions.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It prepares the learner to anticipate and listen for modifying adjectives or specific follow-up questions from the waiter related to that main dish. Then, dessert. Sweet items eaten at the end. Again, the language is often simple, universally understood. Cake, ice cream, fruit.
Like chocolate cake, a classic.
Right, chocolate cake was cited as a favorite. But here's the structural point. The waiter will often ask about dessert after the main course plates are cleared. It's a separate stage. Knowing that dessert is a distinct, separate conversational phase allows the learner to anticipate that question later on.
Instead of trying to order everything soup to nuts right at the beginning.
Exactly, it breaks it down. You can prepare the appropriate language for dessert when the time comes, rather than trying to juggle everything at once in that initial order.
That makes so much sense. It's not just about defining the food types, it's about anticipating the flow, the stages of the conversation.
Yes. And finally, drinks. Water, juice, soda, maybe wine or beer. We connect this back to the bigger picture. This categorization starter, main, dessert, drink, it acts like a cognitive anchor for the learner.
An anchor. How so?
Well, when the waiter asks, "Can I get you started with a drink?" Ding. You know the conversation is currently in the drink category. Your brain can focus there. When they say later, and what about for the mains? Or ready for your main course, ding, you know the conversation has shifted. It's now in the main course category.
Okay, got it.
This structure helps minimize that panic, that feeling of frantically searching your entire vocabulary, because it provides clear context for each part of the interaction.
It's like having distinct chapters in a book, as you said. You always know roughly which chapter you're in at any given moment.
Exactly. Makes it much more manageable.
Okay, the moment of truth arrives. The waiter comes back, notepad ready perhaps, or maybe a tablet these days, and asks that key initial question, are you ready to order? We've established that clarity and brevity are really key here, so the simple affirmative answer is usually best, right? Yes, I am, or maybe just yes, please.
Yes, keep it simple. And let's not forget that crucial delaying tactic we talked about. If you're still wrestling with the menu, maybe trying to silently practice pronouncing that tricky Italian dish.
We've all been there.
Right. The simplest, most powerful phrase is, just a minute, please. It's completely non-confrontational, it's polite, and it buys you that necessary extra time without disrupting the server's flow too much.
That's a really high-value phrase for the learner under pressure, isn't it? Just a minute, please.
Absolutely invaluable sometimes.
Okay, but assuming you are ready, let's execute the order. Now we really need to analyze the polite ordering language. Our sources strongly stress that moving past the very basic "I want" is pretty essential if you want to sound natural and respectful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is where we move to the preferred structures, I would like, or that extremely natural contraction, I'll have, which of course is short for I will have, right? We probably need to spend a moment on the linguistic weight of I would like. Why that one?
Yeah, let's break that down. What's the specific linguistic function of using would like? Why does it feel more polite?
Well, would like is a really pragmatic construction in English. It uses the past tense modal verb would. Now, using that past tense form has the effect of distancing the request slightly from the immediate present moment.
Okay, distancing.
Yeah, it makes it sound more tentative, more respectful, and definitely less demanding than a direct statement of desire like, I want. It is the standard, polite way, both in formal and semi-formal situations, to express a desire or make a request in English. For the learner, mastering this one phrase instantly elevates their register, makes them sound more competent.
Got it. I would like.
However, it's also true that for native speakers, especially in a more casual restaurant setting, the contraction I'll have, I will have, is extremely common, very natural.
Right. Oh.
This tends to imply a decision that's just been made maybe right there in the moment. It's fast, it's fluid. Let's use the source's illustrative example for ordering both a starter and a main course. Notice how we might use the slightly more formal I would like to begin, and then maybe slip into the more natural, faster I'll have for the main dish.
Okay, let's hear it.
Something like, yes, I would like the small salad to start, please.
Okay.
And for the main course. I think I'll have the hamburger, please.
Yeah, that sounds completely natural. And that use of, I think I'll have, adding that little hesitation, I think it adds a bit of conversational filler.
Exactly.
It removes the stiffness, doesn't it? It stops it from sounding like a purely formulaic command list. It makes the transaction feel more like a genuine conversation.
Precisely. And the drink order. It uses the identical structure. I'll have a soda, please, or maybe I would like a glass of water, please. By committing to really learning these two core templates, I would like and I'll have, you essentially have the tools you need to order pretty much every item on the menu.
Okay, but let's raise the stakes a little bit.
Yeah.
What if the learner has a simple modification? Or maybe a slight food intolerance, something they need to avoid. For instance, let's say they really hate onions on their hamburger. How do they communicate a modification like that without completely derailing the flow or sounding rude? This is a really high-value challenge for learners. You definitely cannot just say, no onions.
Right, too blunt.
Way too abrupt. You have to integrate the modification within the polite template you're already using. So you start with the main order phrase, and then you add the modification, usually using a short, clear prepositional phrase at the end.
Okay, give me an example.
For example, I'll have the hamburger, please, without the onions. Or maybe, I would like the chicken dish with the sauce on the side, please.
Ah, okay, so the core phrase is still there.
Yes. The key is sandwiching that modification without the onions, with the sauce on the side, neatly between the main part of the polite structure and that final essential please.
That structural placement seems crucial. You're not leading with a negative thing, the no onions. You're
That's
leading with the positive request first.
Exactly. Frame the positive first. Now, once the order is placed, the importance of confirmation kicks in. Very often, the waiter will repeat the order back to check for accuracy.
Right, like, okay, so that's 1 salad and 1 hamburger, no onions.
Precisely. And that moment is actually pure listening practice for the learner. You have to listen carefully. If the waiter says, so that's the salad and the hamburger without onions, and they got it right, well, the response is simple and gracious.
What should you say?
The required confirmation phrase is something like, yes, that's absolutely right, thank you. Or just, yes, that's right, thanks.
And reinforcing thank you there again.
It seals the deal. It demonstrates competence, shows you were listening, and it's just basic courtesy.
Okay, great. Order placed, confirmed. Then the food arrives. The waiter might say something like, enjoy your meal.
Yes, very common.
What's the expected appreciative response there? Just simple again?
Simple is best, thank you. That concludes the ordering process entirely. You're ready to eat.
Phew. Made it through the order. Now we're in the middle of the meal. The learner is eating, hopefully enjoying their choice, right? And the waiter often returns for that mid-meal check-in.
The quality check.
This is a moment that I think often stresses learners because they feel like they suddenly have to produce complex conversation about the food.
Yeah, performance anxiety.
The waiter's question is pretty universal, isn't it? Usually something like, is everything okay? Or maybe, how is the food? Everything all right here?
Yes, variations on that theme. Your response should ideally be positive, assuming it is. Brief. And it's great if you can use some high-value appreciative language. Avoid the simple, flat, yes. It sounds a bit dismissive, maybe.
Okay.
Instead, our sources suggest providing that enthusiastic, high-value adjective. A great example. Yes, it's delicious, thank you.
Delicious, good word.
Or, yes, everything is great, thank you. The power of a word like delicious, well, it really shouldn't be overstated. It conveys genuine satisfaction. Using an enthusiastic word like that really fosters a positive connection with the server, and it also means the waiter probably doesn't feel the need to probe any further. They know you're happy.
Good tip. Okay, but let's analyze the linguistic strategy for getting the waiter's attention when you need something mid-meal. Maybe your water glass is empty. You obviously can't snap your fingers. That's incredibly rude.
Please don't.
And you can't just yell across the restaurant. So what is the universally accepted polite method?
The strategy is really a combination of nonverbal and verbal cues. First, try to make polite eye contact as the waiter passes by. That's often enough.
Just a glance.
Just a glance, maybe a slight nod. Once you have made that connection, or maybe as they pause nearby, you must use the critical verbal single phrase. Excuse me. Is your linguistic bell? Ding, ding.
Okay, gets their attention politely.
Exactly. It signals a brief, necessary interruption. It's short, it's polite, it's effective. Once you have their attention, what do?
Back to the template.
You immediately revert to the familiar request template. Can I have? Please.
Okay. So let's review those scenarios again for requesting more items, just to really reinforce that consistent structure.
Absolutely. Repetition is key here. The pattern remains locked down.
Yeah.
Can I have plus the item you need, plus please. So if you need more hydration, excuse me, can I have some more water, please?
Oh.
If you devoured the bread basket, excuse me, can I have some more bread, please?
Right.
Another beverage, perhaps. Excuse me, can I have another soda, please?
I definitely see the consistent reinforcement there. The can I have pattern just keeps coming back. It really reduces the need for the learner to memorize lots of different structures for very similar requests, doesn't it?
That simplicity is absolutely the key to managing cognitive load in a foreign language. You just swap the noun water, bread, soda, but the core grammatical structure holds firm. It's reliable. Now let's maybe consider a slightly higher stakes scenario mid-meal. What if something is actually wrong?
Ooh, tricky.
This is where politeness and structure are probably most critical. For instance, maybe the chicken you ordered arrived, and it's cold. You had to say, this is cold.
Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for a really terrible interaction. What is the template for handling a complaint or maybe just a necessary correction politely?
You absolutely must start by minimizing conflict and maximizing shared understanding. You still begin with, excuse me, to get their attention respectfully. But then you use a tentative, non-accusatory phrase. Instead of stating, this food is cold, which sounds like blaming, you frame it as a problem you seem to be experiencing.
Subtle but important shift.
Very. So, a polite, high-level script might sound something like this. Excuse me. I seem to have a little trouble with the chicken.
Okay, seem to be having trouble.
It seems quite cold. Notice seems, not is. Could I possibly ask you to perhaps heat it up for me?
Wow, notice the softeners there. Seems quite, could I possibly ask? Perhaps. Lots of hedging.
Exactly. Especially, could I possibly ask, again, a highly tentative, super polite modal phrase that completely avoids confrontation. That's the kind of strategic depth the learner needs for these sensitive situations.
So you're asking for a solution, not assigning blame.
That's the goal. Collaborative problem solving, not conflict.
Okay, assuming everything has been delicious, or maybe it was corrected politely and successfully, we transition towards the end of the meal. Empty plates are being cleared. Maybe you're thinking about something sweet. The waiter might initiate this phase.
Yes, they often ask, would you like to see the dessert menu? Or, can I interest you in any dessert?
And if you do,
The fast affirmative works perfectly again. Yes, please. Simple.
and if you then decide on dessert after looking at the menu,
You just deploy the familiar ordering template one last time. I would like the chocolate cake, please, or I'll have the ice cream, please.
see, consistent application really builds that muscle memory. You don't have to reinvent the wheel each time.
Exactly.
All right, the grand finale, payment time. This is perhaps, for many learners, the most anxiety-inducing part of the whole meal,
Money always adds pressure.
especially when dealing with those potential regional differences, the whole bill versus check dilemma.
Okay, so how do we navigate this? Back to the starting point for any request mid-meal. Getting attention.
Excuse me.
Then the paying request itself. And here's where that regional knowledge really does matter, or at least awareness. You could say, can I have the bill, please? Or you could say, the check, please. Or, could we have the check bill, please?
Okay, bill or check?
We really must clarify this for the learner. Bill is overwhelmingly common in the UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, Commonwealth nations generally.
Right, the bill.
Check is absolutely dominant in the US and Canada.
Got it.
The good news is, in today's world, both terms are actually widely recognized across most international settings, especially tourist areas. A waiter in London will understand check, and a waiter in New York will usually understand bill.
That's helpful.
But this raises an important strategic question for the learner. Rather than just prioritizing learning one, the really strategic learner should probably try to internalize both terms.
So you can use either one confidently.
Exactly. And perhaps more importantly, you can recognize whichever term the waiter happens to use when they bring it or talk about it. Knowing both terms acts as a kind of safety net, reduces confusion.
That makes sense. Okay, but what if you're dining with friends? That leads to the inevitable, sometimes awkward, complex request, splitting the bill. How do you ask for that?
Right, that is a more complex transactional request, and it's often neglected in beginner materials. You definitely can't just hand over 3 different credit cards and expect the server to figure it out.
No, please don't do that.
You must explicitly request the action beforehand. So again, first get their attention. Then state the need clearly. Could we possibly split the bill 3 ways, please? Or maybe, could we have separate checks, please?
Using could we possibly? Again, that soft request.
Yes. If you just want to pay for your own items, you can say, could you please put my items on a separate check? Again, deploying those soft modal requests, could you, and always adding please, makes the server much more willing and able to accommodate what is, frankly, extra work for them.
That's a huge value add for the learner, understanding the specific language for those slightly more complex financial transactions at the end. Good stuff.
Definitely practical.
Now, the final practicalities. How do you pay? Cash or card?
It's always good practice, especially if you're unsure or haven't seen any signs, just to confirm the payment methods they accept. A simple, do you take credit cards, works perfectly.
Short and sweet.
Simple and efficient. Then, when you actually hand over the money or the card, the natural short conversational phrase is, here you are.
Here you are. Easy.
Yeah, it's just an easy, fluid way to signal you're transferring possession of the payment.
Perfect. Payment is processed. Maybe you sign the slip or enter a PIN. The entire structured interaction is now complete. The final exit looms.
Yes, the final note absolutely must be gracious. You stand up, maybe gather your things, make eye contact, smile, and deliver the final, short, appreciative conclusion. Thank you, goodbye.
Simple as that.
It's the final act of courtesy. It closes the loop on what was hopefully a positive service experience, and it demonstrates your confidence and appreciation right to the very end, for the food, for the service, everything.
Wow. That was a complete linguistic journey, wasn't it? All the way from hello at the door to thank you, goodbye on the way out. Now, let's maybe synthesize the key strategic takeaways for you, the listener. What were the high-leverage tools, the recurring patterns we kept seeing and using?
The synthesis, I think, really shows the sheer power of structure and repetition in this kind of context. The entire successful dining experience from start to finish was navigated using a pretty limited set of high-utility phrases, didn't you notice?
Yeah, actually.
There was the polite directional request, a table for. The request for availability or an item, can I have? The expression of desire or choice, I would like or I'll have. And that concluding financial request, the bill please, or the check please.
Just a handful of core structures.
Just a handful of core structures, pretty much. And the non-negotiable strategy, the one underpinning every single successful interaction, was the relentless, but hopefully natural-sounding deployment of please and thank you. Politeness, understood here not just as, being nice, but as a deliberate linguistic strategy. It makes the transaction faster, smoother, and it vastly improves the quality of service you're likely to receive.
It really changes the whole tenor of the interaction, doesn't it?
Completely.
I think we should also maybe re-emphasize the specific linguistic components we focused on. We spent quite a bit of time analyzing those modal verbs. Can I, would I, could we, I'll, why are they the real key? Maybe even more than just knowing the vocabulary for chicken or soup.
That's a critical point. The modal verbs are what establish the correct register, the right level of formality and politeness. They move the conversation from potentially sounding like a series of demands, I want water, give me the bill, to sounding like polite inquiries or requests, can I have water please, could you have the bill please? This subtle but crucial shift is often what distinguishes a speaker who sounds like a beginner from someone who sounds more competent and culturally aware in a service context.
So practice those modal phrases.
Definitely. The learner should spend time really practicing the rhythm and the intonation of phrases like I would like or can I have until they become almost second nature, automatic.
This leads us directly then to our strategic advice for you, the learner. Okay, you now have the blueprints, the templates we've discussed, but how do you actually execute them under pressure in a real restaurant?
Well, confidence is obviously key, but the strategy to build that confidence is often simplicity, especially at first. Our analysis strongly suggests that when you are starting out, deliberately minimize the difficulty of the other words you have to say, the food words.
Control the variable.
Exactly. Don't choose the complex French dish with silent letters or the 5-syllable Italian dessert on your very first try. Start with known, easy-to-pronounce anchors.
Like
Fish and chips, or a cheese pizza, or the hamburger. Things you already know how to say reasonably well. This ensures your pronunciation of the food item doesn't suddenly interrupt the smooth structural flow of your polite request. It helps build that foundational confidence step by step.
That's very practical advice. Keep it simple initially.
We also noticed, didn't we, that small conversational fillers, things like adding, if that's okay occasionally, or using, I think I'll have, instead of just, I'll have, can greatly enhance the naturalness of the delivery.
Right. Makes it less robotic.
It makes the transaction sound less like you're just reading a memorized script and more like organic, natural speech.
And wrapping up the strategy section, we have to mention that universal language that overcomes almost all mistakes.
Yes. The smile.
A genuine smile. Combine a clear, simple, polite phrase, even if your accent isn't perfect, with a warm smile, and almost any small linguistic error will be instantly forgiven or overlooked.
It really is the ultimate strategy for bridging imperfect language skills. It signals goodwill.
So practice is essential for all this.
Absolutely essential. We strongly encourage you, the listener, to engage in role play. Seriously. Find a friend, a family member, even talk to yourself in the mirror. Assign customer and waiter roles and run through the script, the scenarios we just analyzed.
Say the phrases out loud.
Yes, repeat the core phrases, can I have, I would like, excuse me, please, thank you, until they feel comfortable, until they become muscle memory. And finally, perhaps the most important tip, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Really.
Easier said than done sometimes.
I know, but people working in the service industry, especially in places with tourists, are usually experts at interpreting requests, even imperfect ones. They generally appreciate the effort you're making to speak their language, and they will usually help guide you if you get stuck or misunderstand something. The fear of making an error is almost always more limiting than the error itself.
That's a great closing thought for the practical advice. Don't let fear stop you. Well, what an empowering deep dive that was, seriously. We started with maybe some apprehension, the fear of the unknown in the restaurant setting. We analyzed the whole communication strategy, phrase by phrase, stage by stage, and now, hopefully, you feel fully equipped with the clear, polite script necessary to confidently order your next meal in English. So what does this all mean? It means you have the power, the tools, to transition from being maybe a hesitant traveler or learner to being a capable, confident diner in one of the most common and frankly essential social situations you'll encounter abroad or even at home.
It really was a pleasure to break down this essential interaction strategy, focusing on that linguistic structure and clarity, rather than just handing out long, intimidating vocabulary lists.
Absolutely.
Before we sign off, though, here is that provocative thought we'd like to leave you with, something for you to consider and ideally practice on your own. We focused today mostly on simple, common orders: soup, hamburger, pizza. Think now about your absolute favorite food.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe it is pizza, but with specific toppings like cheese and mushrooms and peppers. Or maybe it's a particular pasta dish with a specific sauce, or something entirely unique to your tastes.
Right, your personal dream meal.
Exactly. Write down that specific word or phrase for your favorite dish, then focus on the pronunciation. Say it out loud, check it online if you need to.
So the challenge is,
how can you prepare those single, maybe slightly more complex, specific vocabulary words, the name of your dream meal, to ensure you have total confidence when you integrate them into that simple, reliable, I would like script? Practice that challenging word until you feel like you own it. So when the waiter asks, "Are you ready to order?" you can deliver your real preference with perfect composure.
that preparation step on the specific words you care about could make all the difference between sticking to the safe option and actually ordering what you truly want.
Precisely. That focused preparation bridges the gap. So keep practicing those short, polite templates we discussed. Really master your modal verbs and never, ever underestimate the power of courtesy and a smile in communication.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep smiling, and definitely enjoy your next delicious, confidently ordered meal.